Nebraska has some dark history. The dark history of their small city was gruesome and too violent for the city to even want to endorse. What happened was, during late July of 1874, swarms of grasshoppers completely decimated the agriculture of the Midwest, including Nebraska. People took this as a bad omen, like one of the great plagues of Egypt taken out of the book of Exodus, happening right under their noses. Like most people in a time of crisis, they turned to religion. For 90% in this area, they turned to God. But for others, they turned to God's favorite fallen angel, Satan. These devil worshippers begged and even killed for Satan to save them. And interestingly enough, those who publicly proclaimed to be Satanists were living better than those who prayed elsewhere. The others, maybe feeling jealous, maybe feeling a sort of religious zeal, had banded together and exiled them from their homes. They burned everything to purge the land, so the devil worshippers had to find a new place to call home. Well, the rumor was they eventually found themselves a living place southwest of the state and created a small community. They even gave themselves a name, the Diaboli Locustarum, which roughly translated to the devil's grasshoppers. Using their hatred, they conjured a deity of some kind, something with powers beyond man, and the hatred of all 7 circles of hell. A demon came to Nebraska. In the following weeks, 142 people died, all of them the exact same way. Their eyes and hearts were ripped out of their bodies. They never found a single set of eyes or one of the missing hearts, at least none that were documented. The Diaboli Locustarum claimed these kills and credited their demon for the slaughter. Naturally, outrage occurred, and the only response to violence was more violence. It was said that every strong-willed Christian surrounding the community gave and took part in what us locals now call the Great Purge of Fire. Hundreds gathered to the village and burned every single house down, with everyone trapped inside. If they tried to run for help, they were slugged by shotgun shells. About 60 people died during the Great Purge of Fire. Men, women, children, the elderly. If any of them had a relation to a Satanist, they died that night. There weren't any more signs of this demon the Diaboli Locustarum mentioned, but interestingly enough, days after the fires had finally stopped, when the embers of homes had died and the charred skin was cool to touch, the Christians wanted to bury the souls that were lost. What they discovered was the same ghastly acts of horror. All the burned victims were missing their eyes, and their hearts were taken right out of their scorched chests. That was the last time anyone would mention the Diaboli Locustarum publicly. But behind closed doors, hidden by whispers, their story was still being told.